I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Big Bob?
What's up, Ed?
Hey, there's a lot going on, but before we get started,
Yes.
we have to give a hat tip to, drumroll please, who is it?
Brenda
Ringwood. Who's that?
our producer and the founder of the Becoming the Best You Foundation, which
You're still working on becoming the best you, so you can.
it's a
It's a lifelong
life's
process.
journey. No, you can't achieve it.
Right, which is why she'll be in business forever.
Right. There's no end to the road. And now our special guest, drum again, Adam Turk.
Pleasure to
Topeka?
be here. I spend a lot of my time in Topeka. That's
Really?
For sure.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I own several businesses here in the metro area.
You're in a fitness place, right?
I do. I do have a
Jeez, you
fitness
do
club.
look like you go to the gym a lot.
Oh no,
It's
that's
your gym.
I don't. You think you? That's so funny. I think it's a misnomer that people who own gyms, you think they go into the gym.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, people who own ice cream stores eat a lot of ice cream.
I
People who make beer drink a lot of beer.
You know,
People,
maybe.
Right?
Maybe. I tell you, I don't get there nearly as much as I want to these days. I just seem to have my hat very full. at the
Serial
moment.
entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I love
serial
it.
entrepreneur.
I
that's
love
right.
it.
That's right. Yeah, but I do spend at least 4 months.
We have met.
Have we?
Yeah.
Where?
I think he came to my house
What?
because I remember talking to a serial entrepreneur who was a politician
Uh-oh.
who I said, Ronnie Stevens, and go, oh, yeah, right? And so I think we've met.
It's highly likely. I've knocked a lot of doors in the area. That's for sure.
Right. I obviously didn't leave much of an impression. I must have had an off day.
Have you ever heard of him?
Of course, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
I've been
checking.
around for a while. I've been
Where
around
did
for
you
a while.
grow up?
I grew up in Baldwin City, like Baker University.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I did my undergrad.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 42 years ago. And
Not that long ago.
and what did you study?
I went. Well, I'd say I'm a student of real life.
Hard Knocks.
A little bit. I graduated high school shortly after the towers fell. Stuck my toe in college. Did the poor man's route. Johnson County. Working, paying my way through. Found my way to KU. And then enlisted, and then spent some of my youth running around the world for a little bit. Came back after a deployment, finished my degree at Missouri Southern out of Joplin. Just got my schooling done, and then and that all ended like right around the Great Recession. So, and
Wait. We had a great recession in the 70s, one in the 80s, one in the 20s going back.
If you were
What?
tracking with what he was saying and listening to the
Are
dates,
you talking 08, 7, 8?
Well, yeah, well, about that time, right?
Okay.
In that window. You know what? It's funny you say that, though. That is probably the first and last time I'll ever use that term, the Great Recession, because it just ticks me off. That's not a classification. In economics, there's no like recession and then Great Recession.
And I'm going to tell you a story about that.
Yeah.
In December of 7, we were having our annual convention, the big bombs from all around the country show up. And I said, there is a black hole coming, a death spiral inside this black hole. And I can't tell you what it looks like or what's going to happen, but the future is bleak.
Mhm.
It is going to destroy a lot of lives and a lot of businesses. And the only advice I can give you is save every acorn you can find.
Yeah.
Because this black hole is going to run right over us. And if you touch the death spiral, you're out of business. In 08, we gave out a coffee cup to everybody who said, we survived 08. because '08 was a monstrous bad year, and 40% of retailers around the country were out of business. And you're right, wasn't a depression. It was just the most challenging economic times for a business owner to try to survive.
Yeah. Well, that was the time in the our timeline where I was trying to enter the workforce. So as you know, anybody who survived as a business owner in that time period knows for the next 4 years unemployment was some ungodly number,
Right.
13-14%. Some places it was bad, right? Well,
Yeah,
I was
but
trying to enter the workforce at that time, and so that's I
See,
think it was
I'd
the birth
hire
of my
you
entrepreneurialism.
because what we look for in employees is work ethic, core values, big personality. We'll teach you a widget,
Yeah.
and I think you're got a big personality. I think because of your track record, you have a work ethic, and how tough it would. You're bright enough, personable enough. We'll teach you the widget. And so today, you'd be
I'm sorry I missed
you
it.
you want to quit government service and find a new career.
Some days I really want to. Yeah, some
It's a lot
days.
easier. It's
yeah.
a lot easier working for somebody else.
Oh yeah, but I really like working for myself. I tell you,
Okay.
it's that once you do it and experience it,
All
boy,
right.
it's hard to get rid
There's
of
so
it.
much to talk about.
Yeah.
How many businesses do you own right now?
Oh, well, I still own, I'm still in the gym world. That's one. I'm a business coach nowadays, which takes up the majority of my time. That's two. About that time of 2013, I got into logistics. I got into trucking.
Oh, wow.
I started my life as a broker. So now, world being what it is, life being what it is, comes full circle. I own a brokerage. I'm a partner in a brokerage, and working to get a truck leasing company on
Okay.
its feet. So, and a lot back into logistics mostly right now. So,
And on top of that,
yeah.
Drum roll.
Yeah. On top of that, I still do 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year for the Air National Guard, and then spend about 4 months of my year in Topeka as a representative for District 117.
How do you do all this with
wait,
the
hold
fam-
on.
Oh,
Representative.
That's right.
Who do you represent?
District 117 in the Kansas House.
Where's 117?
That would be Western Shawnee, Western Lenexa. So
I live in Western Shawnee.
I feel for you
We call
having
it
to
bumfuck
represent
Egypt,
them.
but go ahead.
yeah. You just got.
No cussing on the show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yeah,
I take that
You
back.
can edit that. No big deal. AI can take care of that now.
Right.
Yeah. So then it stretches through DeSoto and ends in rural Douglas County where I grew up.
All right.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of business owners. And so there's a lot of conversations I could have with business owner and even want to be coaches. I get that. I can respect that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Politicians.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Different world.
Why, we had a guest on a little earlier, guy named Greg Orman. And when Greg told his father that he was going to politics, the father said, why don't you just skip the whole gig and go straight to full crime,
Yeah. Yeah.
full-fledged crime?
Yeah.
So what is it like being a politician?
And what got you into it in the first
Oh,
place?
that's it.
Why do you stay?
That's a heavy.
What were the
question.
biggest obstacles?
It's so much. We'll start. Okay, well, I'll start this. Like, I grew up in rural Kansas. My father, just a blue collar worker, hard worker, great. Couldn't ask for a better father. Couldn't ask for a better mentor in life.
Good.
My mother's the same
She's
way.
still alive?
Oh, yes, he is. My mother was a trade secretary. Back when they still called them secretaries.
All right. What do they call them now?
Administrative assistant.
There you go. That's
Thank
right.
you.
So, I humble beginnings, very humble beginnings, in Lawrence, Kansas, stretched to Baldwin, and that just gave me a foundation of, what it feels like to have very little and make do. I mean,
You didn't know you'd had little.
you're right. At the time,
You didn't know you were
you're
poor.
totally right.
You didn't know you were middle class.
Not at all.
You thought you were on top of the mountain.
You couldn't be more right. Yeah.
Don't
Say
say that.
that.
Please,
Say-
you just ruined it by saying he couldn't be more right.
Sorry.
Always.
He didn't say always. Thank
Well, I'll
you.
get that out of him
There you go.
eventually.
Well, in this case, you are right. I mean, you didn't
Yeah.
know, but it provided, I think, some life lessons and skills very early, and then very often as I got older, that I reflect on and use every single day, even at my age now. So my dad got me started into that
That's
politics.
his main. That is a parent's main obligation.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you're a parent now.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yep.
You're obligated to make sure your kids grow up to be who you think or who they think they could be.
And better than me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
Your kids are way better than you,
Of course
just for
they
the
are.
record.
Well, that's because of right. Okay.
Yeah.
To the moon house.
Who knows?
Yada,
Yeah, so that was my foundation. I didn't ever have ambitions to get into politics, but
Yes, you did.
getting into
Yes, you did.
you really never thought
Did you
about
run
it.
this school council?
Did I run for it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't win.
Yeah, but you ran for it.
Sure,
Did you run
sure.
for school council?
Never.
Me neither.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the guy who ran for school council and didn't win.
but I don't think those.
Look at it.
I don't think
right.
those correlate. I don't
Right.
think those are like quite the same. You know,
Uh-huh.
being the
You
most
had ideas.
being voted the most popular kid in the
Yeah.
class or not, in
uh-huh.
my case,
Right.
and then running for politics is a different level. I never imagined. We'll say that. I never imagined going to Topeka. I certainly don't imagine going any farther than this.
You
At
don't want
this,
to be president of the United States?
of course not. Who would want that job? No,
Would you
Oh,
like
no.
to be state senator?
no, I don't think I would. No, I don't. No, I don't want. Honestly, I don't. I didn't
How
want
about
this job.
governor?
No,
Why do you do this?
because I don't see anybody else up there who is doing and living life the way I
Oh,
do.
this is great. Adam, how many people are in the Senate?
There's 40, I think.
Okay, so there's 40 people.
Wait, Topeka or DC?
Topeka.
Okay, yeah, like
Topeka.
there's like 40, 45.
40.
Like that, yeah.
How many of them do you find to be like-minded?
Who we better issue by issue because nobody is exactly like-minded with me
How
or
many?
anybody for that matter.
Okay, I mean, when it comes to guns or abortion, I mean the big issues. How many of them are like-minded?
Oh, I don't half.
Half. How do you communicate with the other half of the room that isn't like-minded, that has a different set of core values?
You can't really in a lot of situations. You don't.
You can't even communicate.
In a lot of situations, you can. Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, it's an interesting environment. I feel like we're getting off. We'll come back. Put a pin in your original question. We'll come back around. I'll dive into this a little bit. I mean, at this point in this juncture in politics, there's just a handful of people that just don't understand how it was designed by the founders, and then B, how to navigate within it. And to answer your question, there's just a handful that you just will never be able to communicate with. And then you just have to accept that. And then you have to do the best you can with those that are willing to have a conversation. But I feel like as time progresses and the divide between the ideologies continue, it just that divide gets wider.
It's easy to talk to someone who agrees with you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's pass out the hymn books. We'll all sing together.
Yeah.
Kumbaya.
Mhm.
The challenge is to have a constructive, meaningful, respectful conversation with someone who doesn't agree with what you're saying.
I agree with you.
See? Again. So
Here, let me throw a wrench in his works. Okay, find those people. All right, but when such a large demographic of whom we're used to speaking to regularly can't even agree on definitions of words, that becomes very complicated. That's where we're at this day and age, and that's what we have to navigate. That's the hard part. So, I mean, in Topeka, I've watched time and time again where we will try to have those conversations with folks. And it's almost like you're starting from scratch, almost like you're going back to elementary school to try and make friends. And it's a difficult process, but it's a process and it takes time. And a lot of times, time is the enemy up there. Time is
Right.
the enemy.
because you only have
4 months,
4
3 months, yeah. It's hard to navigate everyone's agenda, especially when you're coming from two polar opposite sides of a political spectrum in 4 months. It's really hard.
I'm going to ask you probably the toughest question.
Were you briefed on dealing with him before you came in
No,
here?
I just watched some of your shows.
What is the solution?
There's no, you know what? I'm committed. I've convinced myself and committed to when I get these very singular questions that are only answered with variables. I'll call it out. I mean, like, there is no one solution. It's a multitude of solutions that have to happen in a sequence, like a math equation. One of them is right now, things are good. Life is good. As bad as we see things around us, here in our neighborhood, things are pretty darn good. I've been to a lot of places around the world where things are very bad. And we don't know that here. We don't understand that here.
Ignorant.
In
Right,
America, in
right.
Kansas, in Kansas
Ignorant
City.
is the word.
Yes,
We
don't
are
know.
ignorant.
We are. We absolutely are. As a society, as a culture.
Right.
You know, and I think until we here in America, in Kansas City, in the metro, understand hardship, I don't think we're going to be able to really bridge some of these
Seriously,
divides.
doing this with him every week is a hardship. in my
No.
opinion.
Yeah.
No. You're saying it has to break before you can fix it?
Sometimes, in some situations, not all.
Wait.
I'm not doom and gloom.
How far down are you going to break it?
Oh, I'm
because
not
there's
breaking it at all. I don't want to
There's
break it
some
at
people
all.
who want to break it down to start all over and let's
No.
build it not as a republic, but as a socialist.
No, the only answer is our republic, how it was founded. And we are the best and brightest in the entire world, and our system is the avenue. But we must respect our traditions. We must keep our institutions.
I'll vote for you.
Great.
Right, and I'm in your district, so
Yeah.
my vote counts.
Good.
How can there be such a widespread between what they think is right and what those people think is right? How can there be such a, I mean, we both grew up in the same community, went to the same church,
Yeah.
had the same teachers. How can there be such a diverse way of seeing the world and the solutions to solving problems?
Well, again, I think the answer is a multitude of variables have contributed to it, and you mentioned one, church. I think I will never be that person that says you have to be this religion, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. But you mention core values all the time, and core values are taught to you from somewhere.
Right.
Your parents are responsible for a certain amount of core values. Teachers are, and school is for another set of core values. Sports is another set of core values. But the church is the rock. It is the foundation. And whatever you choose to believe, you better have something to believe in. And I never thought in a million years I'd ever agree with Russell Brand, but he mentioned something in a podcast that said we are a worshiping race. We humans are built to worship. If you do not worship the Almighty, if you do not worship a God, you will worship something.
Right.
True.
And that could be
Stop worshiping.
something.
I'm not.
something
You just
different,
worship
you know?
Grader's ice cream.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a variable of things, and I tell you, this day and age in this world of marketing, everything you do is marketing. I mean, it's very easy to steer a big chunk of culture in one direction with effective marketing.
Okay. I want to pull all this together.
Mm-hmm.
You respond to passion,
Sure.
right? I mean, you are a passionate individual who intensifies, this is what I believe, this is what I'm going to do, and you do it.
Try to.
Right. I mean, you're a man of action. You are. I can tell you're a man of action. He doesn't want to hit me. Okay.
I do.
Yeah. So you want to be an entrepreneur, you become an entrepreneur. You want to develop another business, you develop another business. You want to go in politics, you got no control over what you're doing. you're a spectator, even though you got a front row seat. You're a spectator to everything going haywire and chaos. Doesn't that frustrate you to not want to be involved?
Um, you know, I don't know that I agree with that.
Wait. Remember, I'm always right.
No, he's not. And
I
I like
don't-
the fact that he's
Yeah.
disagreeing with you.
In this particular case, all right, I'll tell you this. I've I've done a multitude of things in my, I guess, the last 20 years. Failed in most of them. But when I went up to Topeka, first of all, I didn't. I kind of how they kind of wrote me into it. I wasn't really. I was a hesitant.
Politician.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it because it costs a lot of money. You don't get paid anything to do it. You think because you're a politician, you're
rolling in the bucks.
Yeah, and it's not like up in Washington where you get to be a politician and then you get insider trading access. We don't have that in Topeka. This is Kansas. It doesn't quite work the same. So it was a huge cost to my family, and as you can tell, I'm very busy elsewhere. I got 3 little boys, and they need dad. It's a huge cost. But COVID, what happened to my business in COVID was a travesty. And long story short, we suffered greatly. And I didn't see anybody up in Topeka advocating for what people in my demographic, my age bracket were needing. So that's what got me up there. I mean, the people who kind of vet you to do this stuff caught me on the right day or the wrong day, depending on your perspective.
Right.
And I threw my hat in there, and that's what got me up there. But once I got up in there, I didn't go with a ton of expectations. So I wasn't let down when I got there. But I also got there and I saw a ton of very normal people doing very normal but necessary work. Yes, there's agendas. Yes, there's things to navigate. But I wasn't up there and I wasn't blown away with its dysfunction. I mean, we are in a we have a party, a minority party in the executive branch. The legislature is of the majority party, and then a judiciary who tilts to the side of the minority party. So it's a very
Balance.
It is, and it's to certain degrees, but I say balanced. I mean, it's kind of a stalemate. Not one side gets what they want every time.
Right.
So you give a little, get a little, you give a little here, you take a little there. Yes, there's politicking and navigating, of course. There's always tactics. It's like chess. It's like 3D chess, 24/7 up there. But I didn't see people doing any on either side of the political spectrum doing anything that I was aghast.
No dirty politics.
No, not any more than
No
normal.
graft.
No,
Keep
No,
him out of politics.
No under the table deals.
not this time around. Now I've heard it's happened before, but
Trying to get him in trouble.
remarkably that the Kansas people, they've weed those guys out.
You don't want to build a dam in your backyard.
Not particularly. No, I don't. I don't have a
That was-
backyard.
that
My
was
backyard's
Mr.
very
That
small.
was Mr. Smith comes to Washington,
Oh,
by the way.
okay.
Right.
Yeah. all right.
Before your time.
You're you're throwing things out here,
Right.
making me look back on my my Hollywood.
I want to ask him a more
Library.
pressing question.
Okay,
that
press.
I want to ask.
All
It's
right.
not political per se, but I'm listening to you say all the things that you have on your plate and a family and 3
Mhm.
young sons. How do you attend to all of that in a balanced manner?
I fail a lot.
No, you don't.
I mean, there are games that I don't get to. There are family events that I'm late to. It's a great sacrifice. There's no way about it. It's a great sacrifice.
And your family's okay with this.
My wife is a superhero. She should be walking around with a cape. Honestly,
Maybe we should interview her.
Yeah.
you'd be.
Does she
blown
help
away.
with your businesses?
Oh,
and
of course
such?
she does. Absolutely. She has a full-time job at KU Hospital. She is a doctor of physical therapy, which means she has an extensive education and doesn't get paid for it.
Right.
Yeah. So she has a full-time job. Then she helps with the businesses at home, especially in the 4 months where I'm up in Topeka. Because when you're in Topeka, that is all day, every day.
And you
Saturday and
commute
Sunday?
every day?
Yeah. Well, Saturday. If you're not prepping for the next week on Saturday and Sunday, then you're unprepared for the entire week. You have to
Wow.
commit extra time. There's a lot to read. There's a lot to learn. I mean, I'm in budget committees. I'm on House Appropriations, which is the entire state's budget. You know how massive that is.
I can imagine this,
yeah.
everything you have to read.
Yeah, it's billions and billions of dollars. It's a ton of stuff to read and learn. And there's math associated to everything. There is an equation to.
Do you have a staff?
No. You're paid $88 a day. You don't have to. I get a.
That's not even minimum wage.
There you go. I get a. While in session, I have an office assistant with me and another representative who answers the phone and fields our emails during session and helps us.
They can't read the material and give you a synopsis.
No, that's
You
overwhelming.
don't get a reader digest overview of what's happening.
Absolutely not. No, you have to do it all yourself.
So are you commuting every day?
Yes, I'm 55 minutes door to door. So yeah, do it every day.
Wow. Take advantage of listening to stuff on tape, I guess.
No, they don't have it on tape.
No, I meant learning.
Yeah, I do listen to podcasts and whatnot, yeah, and books on tape, of course. I have driven to and from Topeka for years as a reservist and a contractor for the government in my early days. I stationed out of Topeka as well, so
Wow.
I-70 is very familiar with the cars that I drive.
You're young. You don't realize it, but you're young.
Sometimes I don't feel like it.
Right. You're young. Understand family's number one. I get it.
Yeah.
Always. And your wife might be even higher than the kids, which is fine. I get it. What comes next? Prioritizing.
No, it's money. It's always money. Church and family, God and family, and then businesses and got to pay for everything. Money is crucial, and so we have to.
When is
enterprise.
When is enough enough? When's enough not enough?
Maybe there's never enough.
That's a bad answer.
I mean, I don't know. Enough. I've never gotten with all these business adventures. I've never gotten to a point where I'm really
Comfortable?
yeah. So I wouldn't know yet. I haven't gotten to the comfortable part yet.
All right. Look, the joy is not the getting there. The joy is the journey. Believe it or not, I had the journey, and the journey was a whole lot more fun than sitting on top of the mountain. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. You got 4 or 5 businesses.
Yeah.
You got a 30% commitment to public service. You have your church. You have your family.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of dialing it back?
Oh, every day.
Have you thought of focusing?
Yeah.
Prioritizing where do you get the biggest bang for your buck?
Yeah. I mean, I do.
Do you think
of course,
about
yeah.
what happens if I can give up the 600 hours I'm giving to Topeka a year, right? 700 hours I give to Topeka a year. I give that to my new startup business. I can make more money.
Yeah, it doesn't. I know what you're thinking.
You don't know because I don't know what I'm thinking.
Well, I hear
Never.
it. I definitely hear it. Okay, we may not be quite on the same page yet, but I hear what you're saying. Of course, I think about it. And I might at some point if one of these businesses really hit gold.
Okay.
But you know how it is. You search for opportunities and you wait and you plan and you strategize and you look for the vein of gold to hit. And
Opportunity's not. Are you going to open the door?
no, I open every door. That's why I have 45 things going on.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not your coach, but if I was, I would say to you, prioritize what you love, prioritize what makes the best bang for the buck, what has the best future, and start diminishing the things that are second or third place,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Because if one of these things that you're spending 4 hours a week with is never going to really take off, or if it does take off, it doesn't meet and exceed, not a game changer, maybe it's time to let that one go. And maybe you have to have somebody filter the opportunities before they get to your desk so you don't spend so much time and passion going through every opportunity. Because I can relate.
Yeah.
I really can relate.
I can feel like I've hit a thread here.
Well, I'm sitting here wondering, aside from family and faith, it's almost as if you haven't tapped into that thing yet.
He's,
that really
he's
motivates
searching
you.
so hard for.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
the
there's
magic-
something out there you.
He's looking for the magic pills, the magic jelly beans that grows the tree up into the sky.
Go to the Missouri side for that.
It probably looks like that. Now I tell
I'm
you,
not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying because you probably want to know what is there something you thought of you want to do, or you're.
this is. I feel like I'm doing what I want to do. I mean, like my consultancy helps people. I get the most satisfaction out of helping people.
But do you feel like there's something still out there in the
But
future
you
you
can't
haven't?
make money at it.
haven't
Well,
Not the
it
kind of
pays-
money, not game changing money.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I mean, game changing money hasn't come across my windshield yet. So I
That's
mean,
not true. That's not true. That's not true.
okay,
The fitness, if you ran with it full throttle, might have.
you think?
Maybe.
I
I
can
don't
tell you
know.
100 reasons why it was. It's not.
Okay. The brokerage firm might have, if full throttle, might have been the fiscal home run.
Oh, these are all so fresh. They're all so new. I mean, the brokerage is 2 years old. My consultancy is maybe 2.5 years old, pushing 3. The gyms post-COVID, totally different environment.
Yeah.
Now I tell you, pre-COVID, it would have been fantastic. But
Are you making money with the gyms?
breaking even.
Sell it.
Here's the thing, though. The type and nature of my particular gym, it's got such a thread. You all right?
He's not contagious, but he is annoying.
Yeah, it's got such a thread on the community, and my connection to the people there help me stay engaged. You're gonna be all right,
Call a
brother.
doctor.
We should bring water.
Where is your water?
We should all have coffee cups with water in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Water.
I got some Jack over there.
Yeah.
You
What-
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I tell you, each one of my little entities, they serve a purpose at the moment, and they may or may not hit gold one day, but you know, until they stop providing value, I'm going to hold on to them. I'm going to keep investing in them.
If your answer was not family, God, money, I would never tell you change what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to chase money, right, and
Well-
not ego gratification, if you'd said, God, family, God, ego gratification, make me feel good about what I do every day.
You know, who people say ego gratification, you might be concerned.
No,
Yeah.
ego gratification means you do it because it makes you feel good.
I get that. You get that. Do you think everybody gets that?
No, I think everybody follows the trail you're following is the money.
Well, you got
Ego
to pay for bills.
gratification, I do
You gotta
something
pay-
because
You
it
got
makes me feel
kids.
good.
Yeah, you got to pay for what's coming down. Now,
Right.
and I say money. I mean, it's such a blanket term. I mean, and then your follow-up question was a great follow-up question, which was, you know, at what point is enough enough? Well, I mean, that's everybody. It's like what comes first, chicken or the egg? That's one of those great questions.
Oh,
don't have
I
any
know
idea.
the answer to that.
Do you? You have that locked down, do you?
I do.
Okay, let me
I
hear it.
do.
gotta
I
do
can't.
this.
You got to sign up for the program.
Okay.
Oh, so now you're
Oh,
selling
yeah.
because enough isn't
See? Oh,
enough.
entrepreneur. Love it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. I might hold on to that one.
Right.
Yeah. Hope that's not a trademark
No,
response.
not yet,
Okay,
not
good.
yet.
I'm gonna use that one.
I just made it up.
Oh, good. That was still clever. It was
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. See?
Oh Lord,
Ego-
you
he's
are
literally-
feeding his ego way too much.
Oh, it's a good conversation though. I mean, yeah. You gotta. When
If
something's
someone,
good, you gotta call it out. Call spade a spade, right? That's my
Yeah.
philosophy.
so this is your first term?
Yes, first year, first term.
Are you going to try again?
Yes. I'll stay. For so long as the people want me up there. I lucked out with my committee assignments. They're all very important
Wait a
committees.
second. Wait a second. If you ran for U.S., you would have somebody who's on the other side of the aisle,
Hmm.
and I would be thrilled to death to support you if you were running against that certain person on the other side of the aisle for U.S.
I think we have a really good candidate in there right now. I think we'll give this gentleman here his run. If the door's open in the future, maybe. But that is a tall order, my friend. and that is a lot of commitment. And you said, like, where's that line in the sand? If I commit to that kind of level, then my house will suffer. And I'm not there yet.
I want to ask the question of you have 3 young sons.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they're learning from everything you're doing? Or
Oh,
what do you
great
hope
question.
they're learning?
Great question. Same thing he learned from his father. Maybe a little different, but same things.
Yeah, I just want them to learn to have courage in what they do. Every dad kind of, you want your boys to learn from your mistakes, but there's just this point where you have to let them learn on their own. But I want them, when they get to that threshold, to know to be brave and hit it right in the face, whatever it may be. So that's what I hope that they learn.
Have they gotten curious about what you do? Have they
Oh,
started asking
yeah.
questions?
Oh, sure. They ask questions all the time. But I also get, the daddy, where are you going today? And I'm like, I go to work. And then I get the little bit of the guilt trip,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but
What do you say?
they do enjoy learning about it. My kids, they're learning about the importance of our government and why things are the way they are, why our institutions are built the way they're built. They're learning it at an age where they will now have time to dig deeper into the subject matter. Whereas, when I was a kid, I was learning about this stuff at 13, 14, 15. And now they're learning it at 8, 9, 10.
They're not teaching it in school. They're not teaching civics in school anymore.
I say that 100 times a day in every conversation that we have with any of my political circles. You're totally right, and it shows. It shows every time I knock on the door, and they're first, and my constituents, who are in and of themselves are brilliant, smart, and influential people. Their first response at the door is about the federal government and not their state government. And I don't know how to emphasize the importance of a local government, how that impacts your life so much more than what they're doing in Washington.
So we won't talk about sex, but we can talk about politics, right? And we won't talk too much about religion. Why are there so many levels of government? Because I live in a house in Western Shawnee, and I can count 4, 5 layers of government.
You're asking why there's so many?
Right.
Well,
I understand the U.S. Senate,
Mhm.
the U.S. House of Representatives can't negotiate trash
No, they're
pickup
not.
for me on what day of
Right.
the week, the left side of the street or the right side of the street for my neighborhood.
Mhm.
I get that. But do I need a city, a county?
Yes,
Do I need all those?
absolutely, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Sell it to me.
Well, I tell you, the best decisions are always made at the lowest level. All right, what makes the American military so fantastic, so much better than everybody else, is that our structure allows for crucial decision making at the lowest level. That translates across the board. Here at your home, the best decisions are made at the lowest level. And you can hold somebody whom you can see across the table from you accountable for decisions being made. Your property taxes go up, you go to your city council. Why? Because they have the biggest portion of the property taxes. You can look your council member in the face and be like, why are you raising my taxes?
Mhm.
I'm going to hold you accountable. You're not doing a good job. I'm going to run for your spot. They can do that. Where, how far removed you are from DC, or even to some degrees Topeka.
I'm one step closer to Topeka now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
because you're in my district.
That's right. Now you got a face and a number, right?
Right.
See, that's why
He's going to be calling you.
that's the
Hey.
answer to your question.
There you go. This whole podcast experiment, right? All this time and it finally paid off.
Yeah.
I finally got my money's worth.
Yeah.
Now I got the right guy's phone
And you
number
got his
to
number,
fix
you
all
got-
my problems.
So,
all my problems.
and then that's
He's
the thing.
a politician.
That's the thing. That's another thing. You
Aren't
triggered
you?
me. No, I'm
Aren't
not.
you?
That is not the case. That is not how our system is
I thought
designed.
we were going to be best friends.
Hey, I will do whatever I can to help you lower your taxes. No problem.
Okay.
But I am one of many.
How about trash
you know.
day?
What about you talk to your HOA?
Yeah, there you go.
That's why you have an HOA. Yeah. So
I'm just busting.
yeah.
You know that.
No, of course. But that you answering your own question why there's so many layers of government. That's exactly right. I mean, like, is the state going to fix your trash? Of course not. They don't have enough time
Right,
for that.
that's not important to them.
Yeah. Yeah. But your HOA it's crucial. I mean, your city is
So
crucial.
what does the state, what issues do state reps handle?
So your departments, your big stuff. KDOT, KDHE, they navigate the problems with hospitals and insurance companies at the state level. Some things as little as your tags to your taxes.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Though those kind of correlate. It is everything short of those things that cross state lines.
All right.
Well, I have a question. What have you learned about yourself through all of this?
I can survive more than I thought. I mean, like I've served in Afghanistan at a point in my life where
Thank you for service.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I was in Afghanistan at a point in my life where I was like, what am I capable of? Well, that showed me a new level. Well,
Yeah.
as I keep aging, I'm finding new levels. So we can survive a whole lot more than we think we can. We can do a whole lot more than we think we can.
Exactly.
I hear so many people say, well, I'm busy. Well, you can get busier. You can be more involved. You can be more active. You know what I mean?
I love it.
There's an old expression I've heard 1,000 times. If you want something done, find a busy person.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
get it done
Yeah, well, there's something to that, honestly. There's something
because
to
you
that.
have to learn how to prioritize and manage and get things done. In fact, my graduate thesis was on time management.
Well,
Really? And you're always late.
I'm not late. I'm always on time. I have 5 jobs. I think I'm juggling it quite well.
well, I have yet to find a way to effectively navigate it. But as you get older and you get more experience, you do
How old are
figure
you?
it out. 40. 40
Still
years old.
young.
40 and a lot of gray hair.
No, I don't see any.
I cut it off. It's right here.
Who do you want to be 5 years from now?
I don't know that I think of it that way, but I have a host of mentors. I have 4 or 5 mentors that I look to for certain areas of life that I think, wow, that they're really killing it here. And so I'd say I'd like to be a combination of those 5. One is if we're talking about politics, one is our majority leader, Chris Croft. He's a retired colonel. He has taught me so much, mostly about how to, it's not about your ego. Sacrifice the ego.
Did you hear that? It's not about your ego.
Yeah, sacrifice the ego. It's all about the team. If that means that you don't get a pat on the back one day, so be it. Good. You don't need a pat on the back. Let somebody else go.
Great
get it.
ideas.
I was just going to say that he has a wonderful quote to that effect. Start over.
Great ideas. Don't care who the author is.
Amen. That's so true. So as long as in the end, the ball is moving downfield and we're progressing the overall agenda, then so be it.
Adam, you have 5 mentors. You have a mentor for your political life. You have a mentor for your children and religious life.
Mm-hmm.
You have a mentor for your business, your trucking life.
You caught on to that, did you?
Yes,
Good.
right. And none of them cross over.
Yeah.
I mean, they might go help out with family from time to time.
Sure.
Right? None of them have the challenges you have. They got 2 balls up in the air. You have 14 balls up in the air.
Some days. Yeah.
Right? And for you to be successful, my friend, you might have to drop some of those balls on purpose.
Yeah.
So you only
I'd like to
juggle
get to a place
4 or 5.
Yeah. The end goal is to get to a place where that's the case, but that opportunity will show itself when it's time. I do it. You do put a little bit of that trust to the Almighty. I mean, he does this. He sets the stage for you to learn something. And if at this stage of my life, I'm learning how to manage a ton of things, well then.
Are you a good delegator?
Oh yeah, I could not do what I need to do without my staff,
Right.
without my people. I mean, if I do anything right in this world, it's building efficient, effective teams.
Team. See, I don't do anything anymore.
You never did.
No, I
I'm
did.
just kidding.
Well, I see a whole list of
Right.
of trophies back here,
Right.
so we know that's
What
the
happened
case.
was I recruited, trained, delegated, supervised other people
Yeah.
to do different
Yep.
parts of my job,
That's a secret.
so that I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. Well, my consultancy is talent management. It's all about that managerial
Right.
process. Like I go into companies and I structure their personnel for them. It's like hands on. If you have a company of 100 people and you don't know what to do with them all, what are they good at? That's exactly what my forte is. I go in and I surgically, one person at a time, figure out what their forte is, and then I set them
Can
myself
you
up
make
to
a living
succeed.
doing this?
Well, I'm trying.
No.
I'm doing it now.
All right.
You know.
Then why are you putting time into the trucking?
Well, because it's one of those things that doesn't take as much time, but it has a future.
Why are you putting time into the gyms?
I
See what
enjoy
I'm
my
going at?
gym.
Okay.
It provides me value.
All right.
I know where he's coming from.
Look, if he wasn't complaining that he has too much to do,
He's not complaining.
I don't think I complained. No, I don't
he
think I
says the
complained.
challenge is how do I prioritize with
Sure,
all these opportunities?
it's certainly a challenge, but I won't complain.
I think you're way ahead of everybody else, right?
Yeah.
If we're all
Okay.
running the race, you're way ahead of almost everybody else on the field. You've lapped a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, think of what you've accomplished.
I know
It's
some
amazing.
days I question it. You know, some days I certainly question it. You know, but I there isn't a day I don't wake up where I am not excited to tackle something.
Yeah, and I like I said, I get where he's coming from, and maybe I'm off base, but when you first met me, my boys were about his boys' ages, and you know me, I was trying and doing everything, and you were trying to get me. But where are my boys now? Two of them have doctor before their name, and you get to that point where you feel like you can pivot and renegotiate what your priorities are and renegotiate what you want to do. But I feel more than I hear what you're saying about what you're doing, and I appreciate it, having been there before you in a much different
What a
way.
feeling that is for a mother to look at your children and say, "Look what they've accomplished." You must just be so full of
Well,
joy.
and
That's what your father is saying.
Yeah, well,
Can you imagine what your father is saying to his friends? Look at my son. No.
Dad's got like 2 friends.
Well, okay. What he says to when he bends his knee and prays to God,
Yeah.
he says, "Thank you. Look what my son has accomplished. He has fulfilled all the dreams I had for him."
I hope so.
That's the greatest thing
Yeah.
a father can do is help their children fulfill their dreams. Look,
Couldn't agree more.
you are a serial entrepreneur. You are an intellectual property. You are a passionate member of our community that is giving a whole lot more than you're taking.
I hope
Most of
so.
these bozos driving up and down the street are takers. You are a world-class giver.
Hmm.
And for that, I thank you. I'm sure Ann's going to thank you too.
I
But
appreciate
the
it.
whole community should be thanking you for helping carry more than your fair share of the water.
That means
you
a
know
lot to
what
me.
they
Thank
say too: when one person gives, 2 people receive.
Well, if he's doing the giving, there's a lot more than 2 people who are getting.
I think you
Because
missed the
you're-
message of that, but that's okay.
Draw me a picture. So what I'm saying
You
is,
guys are funny.
you're a asset to our community.
Man, it means
You
a lot
are
to me.
a
Thank you.
treasure to our society. You are someone who is willing to step up and take the first arrow in defending our community. Literally and figuratively, you have done this.
You guys, you make me emotional. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and don't ever question, coming from my experience, because like I said, I can feel what you're saying more than I hear what you're saying. Just do what you're doing and do it.
You have a lot of mashed potatoes on your plate, so what?
But
You'll get them.
He's,
I love mashed
he's
potatoes.
on the right track. You're on. I can feel it. You're on the right track, and I understand your motivations and your hesitations and everything. Completely get it.
Yeah. Well, that means a lot. That means a lot. You know what? Yeah. Sure. Of course, you might fail in some of these things.
You know what?
Failure.
Fail forward.
I love. I mean, failure. You learn so much. I failed so many times. I learned from it. You know.
You know, I was going to write a book, believe it or not, another one, and the title was going to be "Failing to Succeed." Do you see what I did there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Failing to succeed.
There's so much there. We could have a whole other show on
Yeah,
just
I
that
know.
subject.
Spectators don't have a win-loss record. You got to get out of the stands, get on the field,
Mhm.
and take the bat off your shoulders, and take a swing, and be prepared to
just-
fail in order to be a participant and win or lose.
I know.
Totally hitting the buttons, all the right buttons on that. You're totally right.
Do I
Been
call you
great.
state senator?
Not, no, representative. I don't
State
know. If I want to be.
representative?
I don't know if I ever want to be a senator. Yeah.
Thank
I
you
appreciate
very,
it.
very
Thank you.
much
Thank
for your
you for
time.
having
Tell Kenny you said Ann Butinas said hello.
Oh, I will. I will. I'll see them.
You have
I'll
been
see them
a
all out.
very
Yeah.
gracious, wonderful guest,
Okay.
and wish you much luck in the future.
I appreciate being able to sit down and talk to you guys.
Thank
That's
you,
great.
sir.